Hey there, folks. So, last episode we wrapped up our random material actor. Well, I say wrapped up, but we actually created and completed in one episode the random material actor here, which is changing a material on a mesh based on its location in the game world. I decided that I would actually move things forward by going through the what would be a menu system and loading levels. I realize, like, so far everything has been done in this particular modified third person test map, and I figured, well, one of the things you want to do as early on in your project as possible is get a build done. What a build is, that is compile and build it as a release, as if you were to be distributing. Now, obviously, the game itself is far from ready. Far, far, far. It's not even something where I would consider internal testing relevant, but that is still something you want to try and do. So, to account for that, I figured, okay, let's get that done at this point. Honestly, I'm still trying to figure out which major project to step into next. So, with that, though, the first thing we're going to want to do is go into our content browser, our main content folder, our project, right click new folder, and this is going to be down to how you want to organize your folder structure. But you'll notice some places call them maps. Some people call them levels. I'm just trying to see if I can find one in here. I wouldn't have it in here because this is just my assets I've brought over. But yeah, so how you name these, it's up to how you want your project to work. So maps, and then I'm going to new folder, main menu. And the reason for this is your levels are going to generate subfiles that are stored relevant to that location. So I like to have maps and then a folder for each individual map after that. And there's a reason for that. So main menu, new folder, dev map. So first thing we're going to do here, we're going to start with a very basic one. So I'm going to go file, I'll move this out of the way. File, new level, and this window opens up. You want an empty level. You do not want either of the open world ones for this. You could go with the basics if you want or not, but empty level. In this case, do I want to save BP random? No. It's asking if I wanted to save where I move the picture to. Now, I'm going to leave, actually, I'm going to dock this down at the bottom for now, because I do want to keep that open for this next little bit, and I'll move it back a little later on. So what we're going to do is, first of all, go File, Save Current Level. Now in here, go to the map folder you just created, not one of the subfolders, and I'm going to name this Persistent. Okay, and then File, Save Current Level As, go into your main menu, save the level as main menu, and then File, for a third time, Dev Map. Go into your Dev Map folder, and I'm calling it Dev Map. I'll call it Dev Map 01. So, what we're going to want to do at this point, go back to your persistent level, open up your level blueprint. Is it going to open? Oh, yes, it did. It opened off to the side. Let me full screen this. You can get rid of your tick node. We don't want anything here. Let's compile and save. So off your begin play, get game instance, cast to TF game instance. Now this is entirely up to you, but off the fail, I do like to drag off a print string, failed to cast to TF game instance. And this is just a fail safe. So if for whatever reason your project's not set up properly, you'll see this message. And actually I'm going to leave that, set that duration to 10, set the color to, I'm going to set it to white because you're going to have a black screen. Okay, and then let me just pull up the game instance code. I can't remember if I actually added this in yet, load level. No, I haven't added the load level. So I'll cover that one now, actually. So one thing I found, I'll close these out, is within the game instance itself, sorry, not the game instance, within C++, I found it's very difficult to create, well, sorry, to stream levels in and out. I'm not sure why. It may just be I've found something that I haven't been able to figure out yet, or it could be there is just some weird behavior. Everything I could find online, though, is it was some weird behavior with Unreal Engine. So what we want to do is down here in our public section of our game instance, we're going to add in a new U function. Don't know why I added that, but it's a blueprint native event. Void load level. Const f name reference level to load. And with all of these, you do also need to add the implementation variation in. Because it's a blueprint native, you have to also have a C++ variant. And what we're going to do, we are just going to quick action create the definition, and this is just going to call load level to load. Oh, actually, there's one other thing. So on U function blueprint callable, may actually have this wrong. I can't remember if that's a viable one, but we do have currently loaded level. So I had sort of started setting this up, I never finished it. So currently loaded level equals level to load. All right, so we're going to hop back to the editor now. Let's compile this and move this out a second, and I'm going to do a live recompile because I'm playing in the editor. And let me pull the live code up, and we'll see if this has an issue yet. For some reason, I think that making that function blueprint callable is going to throw an error, and I'm not sure why. But anyways, while this is going through, I'll explain the whole idea of what's going on here. So you're going to have your persistent level. It is always going to be loaded. You can add, and that's where you're going to add things like, well, actually really nothing. It's just going to have a permanent place for particular information to be visible. All right, so there we go. So anyways, now with this load level, we are wanting to call the load level implementation. And the reason being for this is we want to set that value in the game instance. Make literal, drag a pin off level to load. Right click make. So you want make literal name. Now we want to go into our main menu. And the way I do this is I hit F2 to perform a rename action. It automatically selects everything. Control C and then escape to not change anything. And then back here, Control A. No. Control A to select and paste. Now, right now, this isn't going to do anything. It's going to call a function that doesn't exist because we haven't done anything. Where is it? And play. Oh, sorry. I'm completely misremembering what we're doing. So I'm going to close it with this now. In our content browser, we're going to go into our blueprints, into our game, and we have our game instance BP already created. You're going to go into that and open your full editor. So on your functions on the left, you're going to see 5 overridable. You click on the drop down and find the load level. And I want to check, did I make that? Okay, we need this. Visible anywhere, blueprint read only. Meta private access equals true. So what I've done here is I've just added the property decorator, obviously, and made it visible everywhere in blueprint read only. What that means is the only time this can be changed is in code, which is exactly what you want, but we do want to have access to this in blueprints. So we're going to go back to the editor and we're going to have to do a quick live compile again. And just while that runs, you want to remember, we want to remember currently loaded level. So, and open that up and build completed. So, currently loaded level. So what we're going to be doing here first is checking, are we in the very first pass of this? So we're going to take the currently loaded level, do an evaluation of it, so equal, and we're going to go back to our code quickly, and we are just going to, again, within the double quote, click the text we have defined, in this case, none, back into the editor, and we're going to do that, and this is a very quick one. We could actually even add a code level function for this. Actually, no, I'm going to do that here. New function blueprint callable bool no level loaded const return currently loaded level equal to none. So, okay, we're going to try this again. I'm actually going to save. Yeah, I'll save this game instance stuff just in case something implodes. So we're going to do one more manual recompile. Not manual, live recompile, sorry. And as you can tell, I'm doing this from memory, but not recent memory. Last time I did the level load stuff was quite some time ago. So what I'm going to do, though, you will be able to see it in the bottom corner here. I'm going to move this out of the way, and we're going to go back. Oh, no, it's hiding it now. Oh, because it's not the front. Well, live code succeeded. Okay, so no level loaded. If this is true, that means this is our very first pass. So we're going to go load streaming a level with so there's a there's a couple of load levels that we're going to be calling or could be calling. Load stream level, stream the level by name, calling again before it finishes has no effect. That is to, this is if you're wanting to stream sub levels. And then there is load level, instance by name. Again, streaming a level with specific location or rotation. That's if you want to have multiple instances of a level. But the one we actually want is open level. So if no level loaded is true, we're going to go up here, and I'm going to just bring up my content browser again, just for, no, not dev map, main menu. We're going to open up the main again, select it, F2, Control C, and then escape, and paste that in. Now, you could create a variable for this if you want. It's not always needed. Now, the reason for this branch is if we already have a level loaded, we need to unload that level. Actually, there's one other thing we need to do. Oh, no. We're setting that there. I'm trying to remember. Oh, no, sorry. Because let's compile and save that. I'm going to open up our persistent blueprint for a second. My brain is all over the place. I've had way too much coffee today. So we are very beginning of this level. We're getting our game instance. If it's valid, we're telling it to load the main menu, calling load level implementation. The load level implementation sets that local variable and calls the blueprint function. Sorry, I'm rubber duck debugging right now as well, just to make sure this is making sense. After we've done that, I'm just going to save our blueprint version. We are saying load this level. If we don't have a current level, we don't. Oh, actually, I'm doing this the wrong way. I just realized we need to perform this before. So, because the whole purpose of that currently loaded level is both to store the current level for the save game, but also to be able to unload. No, I'm going to leave that. I'm going to do this as a blueprint method. I was trying to do a lot in code here. Excuse me. But we don't always need to. So we're going to also create a variable of the name type. This is the same as an F name in code. We're going to assign our currently loaded level, or sorry, level 2 load. If it is not, sorry, if we do have a level loaded, means we have already gone through this path once. That's going to always return false. Oh, my logic is flawed. Okay. Let me step through this. So we want to call this function. Yeah, no. The way we need to do that is just expose this to... where isn't... Blueprint read write. We need to allow the blueprint to change it. So I'm going to write that. Go back in here. I'm going to get rid of this for now, just for the sake of the compilation, and do a live compile. So anyways, to try and talk about what my brain is not wanting to do in putting this together is, we can get rid of that variable now. So just recreate this open level by name. Set currently loaded level. Okay. And this function is still valid now. So because, just to explain, I just completely dropped this out. And this is just because we have to have the implementation at this point. So, okay, now we've gone through, I fixed my mistakes. So we're calling the load level function. which is an event in Blueprints. We are taking that passed in level, and if we haven't loaded anything yet, we are going to open the level. Actually, I wanted to lower this down. I gotta clean these pins up because I want these to be very clean. Align top. Oh, do not want that one to be top. So straighten connector, that's the one I wanted. Okay, so what we're doing here, we're checking, is this the very first time we've called this function? If it is, we can bypass a particular one. If it's not, close level, unload. I'm trying to remember what the I swore it was unload. Unload level. Stream. Open level. That is in the game. So open level by name, load stream level. Create local player. Game mode, game instance. This might not be the right one, but oh no, this was with current with level streaming. Sorry, currently loaded. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong one. This is the one you want. You want load level stream by name. Wow, my brain is not wanting to function. Connect this pin. Should block on unload. What that means is block everything until you're done. Yeah. Once this is completed though, and I'll walk through all of this and explain it all once everything is back to being set up correctly. So anyways, off our branch and our false pin, unload level stream by name. Once that's completed, drag that up to your load level. Because what we're doing here is we're saying unload this level first and load this back in. Now you want it to be make visible on load, and I'll leave the block on load unchecked. So to explain, because I realize I have been all over the place in the first 20 minutes of this episode. So this level streaming doesn't work great in C++ from what I've found. Blueprints is the only way to do it. So within our blueprint function, we're checking to see, have we already loaded a level? And this is just what I had started off with there. It's is currently loaded level equal to none. If it is, means we haven't done anything. Otherwise we have. If it isn't none, it means we've loaded a level. So we need to unload that level and then load the next one. Compile and save that. Now we're done in our persistent. What I'm going to do is actually throw a breakpoint there though. And we're going to close out our persistent level blueprint. Now what you want here is your levels window. And if you don't have that, go to Windows Levels. On your persistent level, you'll see there isn't really much there. What you want to do is on the top here where your levels in the little down arrow, add existing. So we're going to go open main menu. And we're also going to do the same thing for our dev map. Going to save those. Now we're going to open up our main menu level You want to save selected there so it saves your sub levels. And you'll see here in levels, persistent level, well, that's not referencing this. It's referencing itself. Because if we go back to persistent, it's the same thing. Anyway, so main menu. Minimize this. Oh, reduce the size of the content browser for a second. Now we're going to open the main menu level blueprint. And the same thing, event begin play. So what we need to do here is we need to get rid of any player character and anything like that. So get player pawn. Valid. We're going to just do an is valid check. And if it is, destroy. But there's a couple other things we need to do as well. Player controller. Get player controller. Unpossess. You want to unpossess it first so that your player controller is working fine. And then you want to destroy your player pawn. And then on your player controller, you want to set input mode to UI only. And you also want to show cursor. Set show mouse cursor to true. If this isn't valid, you can bypass and go straight to the input mode. I'm just going to clean our pins up a bit here because these are a mess and it's hard to follow along. Now, for anyone concerned, these pins don't affect your final compiled game. This is purely for within the editor. So you can have as many pins as you want. You can have, your editor will start eventually slowing down, but the actual final product game won't. Okay. Compile and save there. And then the next thing we need is a HUD. So I'm going to move that level blueprint out of the way because we are going to be back into it in a second. In our project folder, I'm going to create a new folder, UI. I'm going to put a new folder in there as well, actually. And again, I like to try and keep things organized as best as possible because the HUD we're creating now is unique to the main menu. Anything you want to add to the main menu exclusively, UI-wise, would again go into this folder. So main menu, user interface, widget blueprint, user widget, W main menu. Just save that. I'm going to open up our, well, go back to our main menu, create widget blueprint, W main menu, select that. Owning player takes a player controller. We can just drag off this pin and add another pin there just because. And then on the return value, add to viewport. Now again, because this is a single player game, we don't need worry about the, I'll show you, add to. We don't need to worry about, so you can see, add the widget to the game's viewport in a section dedicated to this specific player. Well, we don't need to worry about that. We're just adding that to the screen. So that's the main menu. If you want to get fancy, like I showed in my shorts and Project Kickoff, you can add in a landscape, a background, things like that. We'll get to that point, but right now I just want to get this main menu started. So we're going to open up the widget in the designer, add a canvas panel as our root. Then we want to add a stack panel. For some reason, they always start horizontal. I think they should be vertical. We want to change our anchors to the center. I don't worry about changing the anchor position and everything until I've actually figured out exactly what I want. So we want a button. So you want a new game button, load game button, options, up to you if you want a credits button or a quit button. So I like to name these new game BTN. BTN short for button, obviously. Load game BTN. Options BTN. And quit BTN. The reason for that is when you go to your graph, you'll see they are specifically named that. So first thing I'm going to do is on the load game, because we're not going to do that this episode, I'm just going to say it's disabled. Now, next we want to go text. You want text block and add that to each of your buttons as a child. Was it size to content? There it is. It's on the select your stack box, and in the slot size to canvas. Size to content. Now, I like to. You can go through spacer. It's a dynamic object you can add that you can like shrink and grow if you need to. I don't like adding too many things to that, so I actually add padding to my buttons. So I'm just going to go through and put padding 10 on all my buttons. And then our text. So we're going to pick our new game text, and I'm just going to put new game. Load game for the load game button, obviously. Actually, options, we don't have any, but options, that's something we'll get further on. And then quit. So options, I'm going to disable that as well. Enabled. So now we've got that. We select our stack box. And you can see it doesn't want to adjust. So get rid of size to content now that we've got that. Drag it across until your buttons look about right. So it says it's 218 and a bit. So we're just going to go 220 for some easy numbers. And then the same thing, we're going to drag that down until it covers all your buttons. And you can see that's 260 or 6. We're going to just say 270. Now, what you want to do is go position X, you go 220 divided by 2 to get your half, it's 110, and then just negative it. And the reason for doing it this way, and just explaining that, is sometimes you're going to end up with some numbers that off the top of your head you can't really quickly divide by 2. The Unreal Engine actually has calculator built in. Simple calculator, but a calculator built in to input field. So in this case, we're going to go 270 divided by 2 and then negative. And that puts it dead center for you. Now, obviously, you can have your menu anchored to whichever corner you want. My last iteration of this, and probably what I'm going to be doing again with it, I'm going to anchor it over to, I think I don't, the left. I might have actually had it on the right, but I'm probably going to end up with it anchored in the bottom left. I've been doing some UI investigations to figure things out. But anyways, so what we're going to do, we're going to select our quit button on the right, just scroll all the way down, on click, and hit the plus next to that. Creates the event. And now we're in here actually, and just load game on the left, and you can do that. So on the quit button, it's pretty easy. Just drag a pin off and do quit game. And again, now so okay, sorry, I just wanted to, that looks like it's a new one. With this pin, again, because I'm planning a single player game, I'm not planning on any multiplayer aspect whatsoever. We don't have to worry about a particular player. I'm intending for Windows PC only, at least to start with. Linux maybe, but that's a pipe dream, honestly. At this point, I don't plan on ever getting to the point of having to worry about that. But you have quit and background. Quit is exit the game. Background is minimize. Ignore platform restrictions. That is if you're for console. Now, most games will have a, are you sure you want to quit? Right here. Well, I'm not going to worry about that. So this is a very simple function. And we're just going to, well, behavior. I wouldn't even call that a function. That's a blueprint event. Move that just over here to the right. So now on click new game, we're going to get game instance. If I could spell. Cast to TF game instance. Actually, just cast to the BP even. As before, print string. Failed to get game get TF game instance from main menu. And same as before, I'm just going to change that to a white color. Because again, black screen. So I just got a weird notification on my phone I've never heard before. Not sure on that one. Anyways, so if this has succeeded, obviously we're just going to drag off as BPTF game instance, load level implementation. Notice we don't have a level to load when I compiled that. So this is where you would want to pass in a particular map if you're getting to that point. Sorry, I was spawning with the wife there. However, in this case, again, because I'm just doing raw development, I'm not planning on anything fancy. I'm going to just go make literal name again. Move this out of the way. We're going to go to our dev map. Select it, F2, Control C, escape twice to get out of it. And paste that in there. Now if we hit compile, that's going to work. Now, there's a couple of things that are going to happen here. First thing you're going to want to do is remove from parent on your, so drag, right click, select self, drag off that and select remove from parent. What that's going to do is it's going to remove it from the screen. You can't destroy a widget. So we're going to compile and save there. The next thing we're going to do is actually just go to our persistent level and we're going to hit play and just see what happens. Now, I'm not going to click new game because it's not going to do anything. We're just going to have black. But save those so that the levels are unloaded and hit play. Is this going to implode? Nope, there we go. So we've got that. Begin play for our persistent level. We've got it. stepped over. Get player pawn. Oh, so we have an issue. Our HUD is still present. So, anyway, so what I was just saying there. Access none, trying to read property, call function, get player pawn, return value. So, there was this error, and that is in our main menu graph. Why? What? So, we're going to put a breakpoint there, and we're going to save. We're still in our persistent level. Play again. So just removing the breakpoint here. We're going to continue. Event begin play. Yeah, okay. That time. Oh, I'm still getting that error though. Destroy actor. Oh, I think I have these backwards. That might be why. Okay, I do not recommend doing this, giving yourself spaghetti code, spaghetti graphs. This is just quickly to see. So let's try that again. Okay, we're in the begin play. I'm just going to continue. Okay, and we don't have the graph. So that does show us we're getting the basics set up there. Next thing we need to do, though, is we need to actually get rid of that player HUD. So in our content browser, we're going to go to our third person blueprints. No, not move. And this is actually why, well, one of the many reasons why up here, when we event begin play, we save a reference. Function override. Event destroyed. So called when the actor has been explicitly destroyed. Again, I always like to use this. It's the same as the C++ function is valid. The other one you can do is the constant variant, which is just, I hate that. Do I have a key down that it doesn't like? This is if you want to attach it to a switch. Well, it's already a switch, or a branch, sorry. So I'm not sure why these two are there. This is obviously for additional logic. Yes, I understand. There's other reasons for this. So, but anyways, so if it is valid, we're going to remove from parent, just like we did with the other one. Compile and save. And we're going to try this again. So we're going to hit play. We now have our main menu. And as you can see here in our level outliner, our main menu is visible. Our dev map isn't. So we're going to hit stop here. And we're just going to quickly open up our dev map. And just do some very basic stuff just to get this working. I'd like to finish the episode with this, at least this functional. So in our asset or quick add, go to lighting, go to a directional light. I'm going to put sky for atmosphere, cloud for volumetric clouds, gives you this here, landscape. I'm going to create just a very tiny landscape here, 4x4. Actually, I don't even have anything that's got a landscape material. I don't. Mountain environment, maybe. It's textures. Material. What materials have we got? Nothing. Okay, it's just going to be... Oh. Let's see, what can we add? We're going to go with that basic asset 3, a nice neon green. And create that. Oh, that is too bright. No, I can't do that. Okay, bear with me 1 second. I've got to get some form of a landscape texture out into the project. So I will be as soon as I've ported that back as soon as I've ported that over. Alright, so I'm back. I've imported a basic terrain shader and applied it to the landscape. I'm just quickly going to head into paint mode, layer. I'm going to create a material instance of this. Does that give me any information? It does indeed. Alright. I don't even know where this particular one came from. Layer 1 is grass, layer 2 is dirt. Okay, so I'm 1 and 2. So layer 1, create weighted blend map. So now this is where I was mentioning your levels have sub-content that gets applied. As you can see here, it's asking where I want to create that layer. So I've got it in the dev map and then the dev map 01 shared assets. So I'm just going to save that. And then layer 2, weight blended layer normal. I know I've been running my little side series with my terrain building, sculpting, whatever you want to call it. At one point I will pull over that into the main project, and I'll also cover some of the landscape stuff there, because both this landscape material and the one I've been using in that project are just placeholder ones to get ideas. But anyways, so I've set those two up. I'm just going to do some very basic sculpting in here. So we have a... Are you not bulging up? What is going on here? Sculpt, tool strength. Why are you not? What is going on? Save all. Oh, I'm on a race. There we go. Okay. Not like I've never done landscapes before. Okay, so just very basic. Oh, it's way too strong. Let's drop that down to half strength. Just a very basic. So we can tell we've moved into a new level. Actually, I'll go to the paint quickly and layer 2 just for that. Strength 1 for this. Drop it down to 1024. Yeah, and 0.25 for the fall off quickly. Whoa, that's still huge. Go to 512. Actually, get rid of this top section here. And this is just, again, very quick and dirty, just to show, or for us to be able to tell we have loaded the level. Okay. And again, very quickly here. Okay, that's going to be good enough. I'm going to go back into selection mode and put the color back on here. Now, in our quick add, type player and select player start. hit end on your keyboard just to drop it down to the ground level. And we're going to bring that over here, zoom in, and if you select off, you can see it's got an arrow component. That means you're going to be facing this wall. And I actually want it that way so we can tell we've loaded in properly. If we check our details, it's also not at the 0, 0 location. So we're going to hit save, and then we're going to open our level blueprint here. Open level blueprint, come on. Thank you. Get rid of these. Again, we don't need to worry about our tick. Right click, get player pawn. Drag off is valid. Now this should be invalid. We don't have a pawn. We destroyed it in our main menu. If it's not valid, print string found player pawn. Existing player pawn. Move that out of the way. And if it's not valid, get actor of class. Now you're gonna, when you type this in, you get, it's gonna give you a couple options. It's get actor of class, get all actors of class, get all of actors of class with tag. And then there's some other ones as well. But in this case, because we only have one player start, we want get actor of class. If you want to have like a randomized player start, you could do that as well. And you could also use the tag. And when we get to using that big map I'm working on, we're going to be doing that. We're going to be using the get all actors of class with tag. So get actor of class, and you're just going to type player start. We have one in there, so it should be valid, but I'm going to still validate it to make sure. And as long as it's valid, spawn actor of from class, sorry. And in your class, you want BP player, no, third. I'm still using the same one. Third person character, because we haven't done anything to that yet. We're still spawn transform. We're going to make a transform. I'm going to grab the location of that, and we're going to plug that in. Actually, no, we can just grab transform. Get actor transform. We don't even need to worry about that because it's already scaled one. It's a rotation we want to keep and things like that. Now over here, get player controller. From the player controller, actually, sorry, you want to drag off possess. Now you also need to set your input mode to game only, and you want to turn off your cursor. Show cursor. Actually, was there a function for that? Set mouse cursor widget. No. Okay, set show cursor to false. And we're just going to line these up. I'll not clean these up for now. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to throw a breakpoint just here because we do want to see this behavior. So we're going to close out of our level. We are going to go to our maps and our persistent map. I'm going to make sure our level tab is open. So, and as you can watch, the main menu and dev map 1 are both unloaded. Drop this down and hit play. We're going to hit new game, and we're hitting that breakpoint I just placed. So this should go down the invalid flow. I'm going to hit continue and move that out of the way. Oh, well, I'm possessed, but oh, I know exactly why. It's because I'm special, and I set that to true. So compile and save this. I'm going to launch play one more time just to make sure this all works. Click new game. That's doing what it needs. I'm actually going to get rid of that breakpoint by now. Well, for now. Move this out of the way this time and hit resume. And you can see we're now in the editor. We're able to run around. Our health bar is there, our stamina, thirst, hunger. Now, the map is obviously incredibly barren. It is this very garish. I should have picked a better terrain material, but it's working. We're now in a game level. And if we hit 7 and 9, let's go over here, and then 9, you can see we're jumping around. Our stats are reloading. Now, one thing, the camera rotation isn't being saved. That is something we need to do. I will do that in another catch-up episode. Actually, before I forget, let me make a note of that, because I'll forget otherwise. But now that is your very basic, and I mean incredibly basic, setup to have a level loaded. Now, right now, if we were to do anything where we hit load game via the buttons when we're, well, we can't because there's no player pawn, but if we were to hit load while we were in the main menu, it's not going to actually load because we don't have any logic set up to load this level. But just making a note here. Save player cam. Actually, no, because we're moving to a two first person. We won't need to do that. So, actually, I'm going to do that for the next episode. I'm going to set up the true first person camera. So, sorry, make a note of that instead. Because we are doing a lot of things and making the assumption it's going to work for that. True first person camera. All right, so now there is a couple other things to do for this. I'm going to just stop here. For your project to get it set up, because as I mentioned, we want to try and get our first build done of the game. So in here, they go to Edit, Project Settings. And it's going to open up a window here. In your search section, type Map. Editor Startup Map is going to be third person. Template Game Default Map. Now this one here is the first map that is loaded when the built game, like fully compiled game, starts. So we want persistent. This auto saves. So we don't need to worry about any of this yet. There's a couple other things I want to do before we do that first remap. So first build. So with that though, folks, we do have our main menu and like level loading functionality set up. Actually, I never pointed it out. You can see here main menu is loaded. Click new game. Main menu is unloaded. Dev map is loaded. So, but yeah, as I was saying, with that, folks, I'm going to end this episode here. As you can tell, I'm not doing these 30-minute episodes. They just were not working. So, as always, though, folks, any comments, questions, concerns, suggestions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. Respond to every comment I get. Next episode, as I mentioned, I'm going to finish up with the true first-person camera. And that's probably also going to include some lean behavior, like the lean around corners. But anyways, folks, thanks again, and I will see you in the next episode.